Welcome to Puzzle with Emilia and the feeling puzzler Daniel.
Woo, yeah, woo! Check this shirt.
We got Daniel a new shirt because we're leaving today for the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships to Spain, Valladolid.
Yeah.
How exciting is that?
Yeah.
You got a vacay.
Vacation. Yeah.
I wanted to share my predictions for the puzzles and predictions for the winners. And then we thought maybe Daniel can join commentating one of my final puzzle practices.
Yes, a professional puzzler. I can bring my own input into that and we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and also I hope to see you there. I know those who don't participate will watch the live streams. So I wanted to just share my schedule. Ta-da! So, just to go through it. So, I will be actually commentating the live stream, which will be on Federation's YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description. I will be commentating on the Group B of the individual. Then I'm competing on the Group F in the individuals. And then with my pair, Emilia K, we are in the Group B of pairs, and then this is actually our team's shirt. I will be, as you can see, with Hanna, Kira and Rosa, and we're also Group B of the teams.
Yeah, and they're not very peaceful, so be careful.
Monia will be also trying to attempt on the Guinness record attempt with some other Finnish speed puzzlers.
Okay, and I will be observing the attempt.
All right, but anyway, the puzzles. So basically, I think a lot of you know I've already kind of shared. I did my speculations already some months ago, shared them with the Speed Up program members, and then I always have the habit of sharing them to everybody publicly right before you look like
I'm a potato.
Yeah, right before the competition starts. I'm actually happy to announce that Ravensburger didn't specifically announce, but they did release the information that also the semi-finals of pairs and individual will be with unpublished puzzle. I think this deserves a huge applause. Maybe next year we will also have the classification rounds with unpublished puzzles.
Is it including also the teams?
Teams final. Teams don't have semi-finals.
They don't have semi-finals.
No, only classification and straight to the final. That's why.
Okay. Got it.
Yes. So yeah, but I think my predictions are still rather fine. So I had this list of 10 puzzles that I think that are kind of my primary predictions, whatever you want to call them. We have a lot of new puzzles, the Scandinavian places, Power of Nature, which is the new name for Nature Edition. How did I come up with these predictions is actually
a mystery.
I could have just made a guess or hey, this is how I feel, but I like to go with some kind of fact-based data or something to kind of back it up.
Yeah, I think that there should be a logical type of way that you chose those puzzles, because otherwise if you're just basing them because you want to have those puzzles, then
because I kind of made my hypothesis originally, and then I actually started looking at the data and historical stuff, so to say, and then I threw my hypothesis to the trash because I found something which I find very strong indicator, because last year all pairs and individual puzzles, except one exception, of course there needs to be, but all puzzles in all rounds until I think semifinals, well, pairs didn't have semifinal last year, but all of them were actually puzzles that were released on that same year. And I mean Ravensburger obviously remanufactures puzzles every year that has been originally released years ago, but those were specifically puzzles that were completely new and released on that year, so they have not been sold on the previous years. So I was like, okay, this is a huge indicator, so this is what we have to go with. And
This is a question from my side. Is it something that is repetitive? Did you find it like repetitive?
so we have the issue, we don't have too much data because only we had 2019 and then 2022.
Yeah, so it's basing on those 2 years. What about?
Basically the last year mainly because it's a mixed match on those previous years.
Right.
But back then there was like, for example, in 2019 there was only one round. That's it. Like literally like final.
So yeah. Because of the increase of the participants, then there are more rounds, then that means there are more puzzles.
Of course, I had also like a secondary prediction list, which was basically just all the puzzles that are like manufactured this year. So they can be puzzles that are like in this year's catalog, but also actually originally they were released earlier. Obviously nowadays they now have also a new box, and the box says 2024, but I double checked from multiple sources like what are the original years. So that was kind of like this secondary list of mine, which is obviously like a long list, but it was more like, hey, if you have any of these puzzles and you're wondering what puzzle to do, then maybe choose something from this list.
Yeah, and I think that, well, it doesn't mean that it will actually be in the competition itself. It just means that there is some chance that this puzzle will be in the competition. So if there is this slightly small chance that the puzzle will be in the competition, then practicing that puzzle would be a good idea.
Yeah, and I'm like, even though we just have these new announcements this week, I'm still feeling pretty confident with my primary list. But as said, you never know.
Yeah, you
sometimes
never know.
I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right. I'm actually more interested if my logic is right rather than the end result.
Yeah, well, you don't have a glass ball, so you can,
Yeah, somebody called me a psychic.
Yeah, psychic, yeah.
But sometimes it's easier. It's a different kind of speculation for everything. Like for the Euro Jigsaw Champs, I feel like it's easier because I kind of like got a good grip on it. But anyway, and then also I had a list for semifinals, which would be the round puzzles. And on my earlier predictions before yesterday, there was actually the new Little Suns puzzles, and then there was 3 puzzles that were marked for released this year. And I thought there's going to be round puzzles for every semifinal, including individual and pairs, because I think we will have definitely a round puzzle. And I don't think semifinal is something that you can mix match and put one round puzzle and then a more regular puzzle. And also I would be weird if it would also have like a classification that one group has round puzzle.
Yeah, and I would say from my point of view, as a non-puzzler, I would the idea is that you should have a way that it will be equivalent in between all of the rounds, sort of. Because if you give a round puzzle in the semifinals and there are, I don't know, 3 groups, then there should be somewhat equivalent. So some sort of a series or something like that, I would say.
Yeah,
I think that was with the Nature Edition last year or something like that.
No, we have round puzzles last year.
Okay, so the round puzzles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even though obviously it's not gonna be those puzzles that I predicted because they're published and now they said it's unpublished, I'm still very confident that I think in the semifinals we will see round puzzles. For sure.
Yeah.
Obviously I've been doing a lot of these puzzles, especially those new Power of Nature puzzles, like crazy hard. The Scandinavian places has a lot of like, there's super easy puzzle and then like super hard puzzle. So there's like, the level is all over the place. And I think the other new puzzles are like intermediate, couple super easy ones. But predictions of the winners.
Maybe Willy can predict.
Willy's not here. Willy went to already care. We just dropped him off today. So Willy is actually once in a lifetime not working in the background. Okay, but I thought I was just gonna go kind of like my top 5 first of all, because I don't feel comfortable like going through every participant or like a lot of participants.
Yeah, I think that in general, what is your opinion?
So I wasn't, if you would have asked me like a month ago, I was not exactly sure if Kristin from Norway is gonna be winner. I think I had it definitely her on top 3, but right now I feel like actually she may pull it off. I seen some like latest time of hers that are like under 30 for first time. And there is a lot of like I have others coming. But I think with Kristin the only thing is that she does any puzzle pretty good. I think we have a lot of even like the all champions or like some people who do in 30 something, but they sometimes have like a huge time difference between different kind of puzzles. There can be like a half an hour difference between their times, and obviously of course always like, you know, harder puzzles take longer no matter what your level.
Yeah, and I think that the first time.
Yeah.
I think that it's a really good indicator.
Yeah, and also like Kristin really, if she loses, it's not by much. She doesn't drop like somewhere on like top 10. It's like second or first, so to say. Obviously not too many competitions I've seen her compete, but I also said, because I was in the Norwegian Championship and I heard that she did the Panda Bear in 56 minutes, and I was like, okay, cool. I mean, if that's like, I don't know if there is a puzzle harder, like from Ravensburger, that would go over an hour for her.
Yeah, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
I really wonder how, if she changed her training methods once again.
Oh yeah, that's what I also wanted to point out, because I feel like we have a lot of like super good speed puzzlers. But then we look even like 2 years back, their times has been pretty much the same. They have like always been 30 or 40 something, but there is nothing like, it feels like it's not moving anywhere, and still they may have like not worse time, but slower times sometimes. But with Kristin, I feel like if you look to 2022, 2023, and now the latest, there's a clear trend. It goes like significantly, so it's not just like luck or statistical error. It's like so clear that every year it's like 5 minutes off from the average at least.
The trend is downwards, and it's pretty impressive.
You don't see that a lot with these kind of like who are already on the like podium.
Yeah, you would expect that it would remain like stabilized at a certain point where
that's more common.
Yeah, that it doesn't. Okay, it won't go too low or too high. It will just stay stable. Yeah.
And then we have two Polish guys. Victor and I'm not sure how to pronounce it, if it's Christian or like Chris, because I've seen it written both ways. But I think a lot of people know who I'm talking about. If you are on social media, if you have followed the World Jigsaw Jams, myspeedbuzzing.com, crazy guys getting like 30 something. Sometimes there is, as I told you, sometimes there is like with some puzzle a difference. So that's why I think that if somebody wants to beat Kristin, then they need to get lucky that it's really like their top performance puzzle. So to say.
I would say that at least Chris is quite interesting puzzler. I heard his interview in the EJJ, and it was really interesting the points that he was making, that his way of training for the puzzles is by doing bigger scale of puzzles and finding the piece by looking at the image and put it directly.
Piece by piece kind of method.
Piece. Yeah.
Which I usually recommend for people to do with smaller puzzles, because it's really painful way to train. It takes like a decade. So I usually recommend, because otherwise people don't, even they're like, oh yeah, this is such a good training, but then they don't do it, myself included, because it's so annoying. The fact that somebody does it with bigger puzzles is like...
It's really impressive. The amount of patience that you need to have is just... Wow.
And I think he also had some kind of like, I'm not thinking if it was Chris or Victor, but either one has a reel where you can see they do the same as Alejandro and Kristin that I've been talking earlier, that they just move. They can try the same piece like 7 times and it just goes. Like, it looks like they're really like busy. And I always like, you need to look busy. That's what you should like aim for.
And I think that at least with Kristin, from Norway. Then
I feel like there's too much similar names. So I'm getting confused.
There's too much similarities.
Kristin.
So in any case, I saw that she really spins the piece. She spins the piece and tries out like really fast, and it's super cool to see that. I don't know.
Just like go for it. Don't just like think and
Like I don't know how she spins that so fast and tries that so fast. It's just.
And then I promised top 5. We're still missing 2. So I think Kathy is a mystery for me because I feel like last year she did good and I know she had done like great development. I think what's I'm wondering if it's like giving me the wrong kind of like a view was that because she did so great in classification round last year, but I also know I discussed with her it was her second time doing that puzzle, and before that I think she only had one puzzle she'd done under 40, but I have seen her times like throughout the year after that and they seem to go like very close to the 30, but also I feel like she doesn't post, for example, to social media that much, so I'm not exactly sure what is the situation, but if I trust the little information I have, she might be also in the top 5. And then I think on our top 5 is also gonna be some like complete surprise that doesn't, so to say, exist in our social media puzzle community. It doesn't have any My Speed puzzling, maybe from a country that don't have like these championships yet, that will just come out of the blue and like be in the top 5.
I would say that it's definitely possible, and I would replace, like if you ask me, I would replace Kathy with Alejandro. That, in my professional assessment, without any data, without anything.
No, I think you might be right in a way that we usually have those very like traditional puzzles in the finals, which I'm also predicting for this year's final. So kind of like a building scenery thing that actually he's good at. Well, it's good to have like different opinions here at the top 5, for sure.
I think that
I'm hoping that they will put like super detailed busy puzzle in the end because we have never kind of like had that, and I think it would make like a difference on the rankings, like not just the top 5, but in general the whole ranking of final participants. Well, I think at this point, of course, everybody who comes to the Worlds do a lot of Ravensburger. Maybe not everybody because it's not that available in some markets, but and of course our team will be in the podium, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully also me with my pair, but I haven't actually done any predictions for the pairs and teams like winner wise, but too much.
Yeah.
But you should go listen, for example, the Peace Talks podcast. They were also talking about me. They said that I'm harsh on myself on my YouTube videos.
Sounds about right. But this is well, we're gonna see. The most important part is enjoying the competition, if you're participating or if you're as a spectator. So in any case, this is something that is supposed to be fun. So yeah. And now we're gonna commentate me doing this puzzle. This is one of my last practices. Hopefully we'll do something else still as well. This is from my secondary list. Funny thing with this puzzle is that I have done this already once. And this puzzle, first of all, is missing 3 pieces. I bought this as new, completely new, like tape and everything. And it has these, is there 4? I think there is one more. So it's missing 3 pieces and it has 4 extra pieces that are actually from different cut. It's not like a duplicate piece. It's like a little bit differently cut from a different part of the image. Yeah, it sounds like an extra challenge. Sounds like a good challenge for the end. So let's go to that. Here we go. The pieces are piecing and it's moving to places. Prim is watching, observing and supervising that the pieces are going to the correct places. Yes. And we can see some movement on the border, top border. Can you see how I struggle with the sky? Yeah, the sky should be fast. Well, I don't know about that, but the sky looks with a little bit of different kind of clouds. So I think that it can be seen that you're creating some of the cloud and then creating another cloud and so on. I can also admit that I failed with the sky on first time and I had exactly the same problem. And first of all, I forgot one part of the edge of the sky. It was just laying there, but I didn't attach it. And I was like, why this doesn't go anywhere? Yeah, and I suppose that as can be seen now, The next part would be the cow, or what is it? Is it a cow?
Yeah, it's like two cow. I would call them cows. I mean, it's the name of the puzzle is Lovely Longhorns.
Okay,
Okay, Longhorns. Yes.
Okay. Well, is it a? Never mind.
It's an animal.
It's an animal with.
It was going
Looks like
places.
a cow. Quack like a cow. It must be a cow.
Yes.
Anyway, it looks like that's some of the borders of the trees that are in border with the sky, and also the longhorns are being assembled slowly.
I mean, it was
or
going places,
rapidly.
but once again, I had the exact same issues I had the first time. And also, like you can see there, but I got my fingertip. So I had like this huge tape on it, and it sometimes I saw, you don't know this, but in the very end, I'm like, what? It's missing now 4 pieces and not 3 pieces. Then later I went to close the camera and I noticed the pieces on my finger.
Yeah, this is one way to do the puzzling. But it seems like all the flower area and all the green area is assembled in the very end. I think that is the most challenging part. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like the tree. It's not like that challenging, but it's just a lot of similar pieces. So I like to do this kind of like a super trial and error towards the end. So it's just collecting them a little bit there.
Yeah, it seems like this is like something that requires some trial and error to be able to brute force through it. Because after all, if it's some similar pattern and similar pieces, so it becomes more complex to identify immediately where it should go. But you can see the trial and error, well, it goes really fast, but you can see that the trial
it's
and error
ready. The
is
final
happening.
time was actually 56 minutes.
That's pretty good, and also take into account that there are missing 3 pieces and there are 4 pieces extra, so it can get a little bit confusing when you're having those pieces as well mixed up into the pile, and then it doesn't go anywhere.
Okay, but that's it. I mean, now we need to go packing.
Yeah, it's time to pack, and well, it's a little bit late for packing, but yeah.
We're a bit behind the schedule, but who cares? We're getting there.
Yeah. The most important part that we'll be there in Valladolid.
Yeah, and with the puzzle stand, Prim, sporty shoes, all the shirts, mindset.
Mindset is very important. I think that, well, at least don't declare that you're losing already before you start.
No, absolutely. That's like you need to do the visualization like me, like because I'm in the same group F with Alejandro, so I'm visualizing in my head that I'm gonna beat him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the visualization. It has nothing to do with realistic situation. It's just like how you prepare your mind and body for the best performance ever. So you like put it somewhere like completely, not a La La Land, but you just imagine it.
Yeah, well, I think that even La La Land sounds good.
Yeah. Because now it's like nothing else can be done at this point.
Yeah. It happens to me when I play ping pong with someone that is ranked like around 100 in Finland. And I play against him and I tell him, I'm gonna beat you today.
Yeah! Let's go.
Come lose to me today.
Oh, like the last year that I took the picture in the Valladolid of the bird and I was like, okay, this is like my spirit animal. Like it was like, wah!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the attitude.
Yeah, but I like trash talking. It's
Okay, that's not what we do, okay?
Yeah, but this is
Ignore.
This is I.
Okay, and also like preparing for the event itself, there's gonna be a lot of people, double the amount this year.
So there will be a lot of people over there, double the participants.
Yep, I feel like last year it was already, I was super nervous.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm from Finland. You're a little bit more social, different culture than me, but I'm from Finland. We don't do small talk. And it's like people coming to talk to you and you're like,
I think that one of the things that is like stereotypical sort of thing is that, for example, if you live in an apartment and one of your neighbors is going to the hallway, then you'll wait until...
You close the door and wait that they're gone. Yes.
Yeah, you wait until they're gone.
And sometimes it's like somebody's asking you like, how are you? And the Finnish person is like, why are you asking? Like you don't ask that. Like, or it's funny. I just said I was writing an article for a client, and I said, you know, like when you go abroad as a Finnish person, you need to remember if somebody asks you how are you, the only right answer is fine. Because in Finland, it's like if you ask that, we mean it as a question. You're supposed to answer honestly. So if you have a crappy day, then that's what you're supposed to tell. But like, don't do that. It's not the small talk part abroad.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was talking with a friend of mine. He's a Finn. And I told him that I wanted to start a new hobby, but I don't want to go to the hobby because I need to meet new people. And he was telling me, yeah, you're becoming a Finn.
No, but it's like, and then I feel like as a personality, I'm much more from the colder side. So I'm not like warm and fuzzy and stuff like that. And I talk a lot on the videos, but obviously I'm talking now to a camera. It's like this little white box that I'm just looking at right now. I'm not actually talking like to people in my house. It's just us and the quietness over here. Yeah. So it's very different when people, like you talk to face. And then I feel like I've talked, for example, in social media, so many people. I don't remember like, I don't connect like faces and names and Instagram handles and like conversations because it's like every morning I have 20 new messages. Yeah. And then I feel like I'm offending somebody when I don't like remember. And sometimes people also come to me like, you remember we were in Norway for the championships and we were walking on the street in this small village and somebody's like, hi Amelia. And I'm like, you know, I'm smiling in my head. I'm like processing, okay, do I know these people? Should I know these people? Who are these people? And I was so happy when they then actually said, oh, by the way, you don't know us. We just watch your videos. I think it like, and then it was easier to navigate the conversation. But sometimes people like come like, I know you, or referring something like, how's Vili? And I'm like, I'm not sure, like, do I know you?
Yeah, I think that's the thing that I think it's important to lead on with, I know you from YouTube, I know you from Instagram or something, so it will be easier. And also give your handle, so you'll
or your name. Sometimes I talk with somebody and then at some point I'm like, what was your name? Because it's hard for, I feel like I'm not socially that skilled that it's hard for me to navigate when there's like a mismatch that the other person somehow knows me from the videos, but I have, for example, never met the person. Yeah. So it's like, it starts off like a little bit like mis-level, and I'm not talking about like, oh, you're nobody, I'm like fabulous, but more like I don't know too much. I love to get to know the new people, but then if it already comes up like a lot of questions asked from me or referencing like my dog or something like that, it's kind of like my personal life, but then I don't know anything personal about that person or even their name. It takes a moment to warm up, I think.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one thing. But other than that, super excited. I wish like people would come just, talk to me, because I think it's also like a Finnish thing and also like me thing that I just don't walk up to people to talk with them. Yeah. I'm kind of like a loner by nature and I'm like super fine with it.
Yeah. That's a thing.
So I'm like, sometimes somebody comes to talk to me, I feel like it's hard because it's like my first reaction is like I get stuck very easily and it looks like nothing comes out of my mouth and it's like awkward, and then I feel like a lot of people have like already something in their mind, like expectations, because I do talk well. If you ask me about something like science or something, if you come and ask me how am I or how's the weather today, then I'm like,
tell me the light. Why the light is reflecting. No, don't do that.
Then I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
But otherwise that, I just hope like this year, we're all different, so. Yeah. So and we should appreciate the differences and not have like expectations for people, so to say.
Yeah. And I would say that if you talk with me, prepare yourself for some awkwardness.
But you're much better with people though.
Yeah.
Like here's the thing, because people love you even if you don't say anything, because you are warm and fuzzy. Like, have you noticed that the fact that you sometimes walk by my live stream, there's like people in the chat, Daniel!
I am me.
You have fans.
Yeah. Fan base.
All right, but anyway, we have to literally the flight is leaving soon, so we have to get packing and maybe some final puzzle done. I don't know. Also need to. I don't know. The time is running out, but we're coming to the Spain right now. So I'll see you there or see you in the live streams. So excited, and let's see what will happen. Comment below if you're watching, if you're participating, what are your expectations, how excited are you, because we're like, what? And give thumbs up.
Yeah.
And
Thumbs
see
up,
you
yeah.
later next week somewhere. Bye bye.
Bye bye.